So today I'm talking about First They Killed My Father by Loung Ung. And it's hard to say this is a brilliant book. It's a very good book. It's a very hard book to read. Subject matter wise, it wasn't a hard to get through book, but subject matter is definitely hard, and it's about the um, Khmer Rouge killings in Cambodia, and it's a young girl's story, and it's a non-fiction. It is a good read. It's one I would recommend, although it is a non-fiction, so there's going to be a few spoilers, but it's non-fiction. Like if you don't know the history and that, something worth looking into. And it is a Netflix special now apparently too. So there is going to be spoilers, and First They Killed My Father is a very, very deceptive title. Um, they didn't they didn't kill her father first. A lot of things happened first, and that kind of, I don't know. I guess I envisioned that was their wake up call to the Khmer Rouge um, taking over and winning the Civil War. I won't dive deep into the history. I think it's worth looking at and thing. But basically, after Vietnam War, which Cambodia was heavily bombed because of the Viet Cong were, you know, jumping the border and that, and then there was corruption with the Cambodian government, and so there was wars going on in the border. There's a lot of damage and a lot of thing, and then there was corruption in the cities, and the general, I believe, overthrew the government or overthrew the prince, and then the Khmer Rouge came and overthrew them. That's sort of basically how it thing. And if you don't know they killed thousands upon thousands of people, the doctors, the lawyers, the educated people. They and tried to basically turn the country into a peasant class. And that to me, like, why? The motivation for something like that, with all these horrible things that go on in our lives, going on right now in, the wars in Ukraine, the wars in the genocide in Gaza, and the why of it. What's the motivation? And some I can understand, the greed and the corporation and that Zionist movement in Israel, but what was going through Pol Pot's mind to get rid of the educated people and that? And they were the peasant farmers, come from the out in the fields and took over the cities and that. But yeah, it's a really odd thing, and I don't think we'll ever really get an answer to that. What this is one girl's tragic story of survival, and she was a survivor and a fighter in horrific circumstances. But the cost to the country and the people as a whole, but the cost to her was it's very heartfelt, and it's a very interesting and fascinating read. And I went to Cambodia early this year and partook in the Clean Water Project. You can still sort of see that lingering effect of taking out the educated people, of the engineers, the doctors, the lawyers, the teachers, and that mistrust. And it's so sad because they were such beautiful people, the Cambodians. Every Cambodian I met, and that were wonderful people, and I would highly recommend visiting the country again. Um, I took my children there, and would like to do that again in a couple of years, because they were so wonderful. And that's the really tragic part, that they've survived this, the generational trauma this will cause. If you know any of that reading, is just truly this humanity that we lack at times. It's a really sad part of to think that these beautiful people, and they did this to themselves. Not all of them, obviously, but it was done by themselves. It wasn't an oppressing force from outside. It was from inside the country did it, and that's the tragic thing of this. I do recommend the book. I won't say it's a brilliant read. It's a hard, horrible book, and it's non-fiction. But I think it's worth a read. Definitely worth a read. I know she's got sequels. I'm not think I'll rush to read the sequels, but I'm glad I read this book, and I do highly recommend it. Happy reading. Probably not for this one, but happy reading anyway. And follow for more.